action.
Yes! 300 for the Hall of Famer!
Outclass a role of pure dominance.
His 15th career tour title.
Outshine the Afro-Fish himself.
There it is.
It seems there's only one thing to do. Raise the stakes, baby.
Oh, yeah! Get on that strike train, kid!
See, there's titles, and then there's major championships. This is about legacy, about the approach to greatness, and the claim for the greatest. Today is the best of the best, the cream of the crop for the first major of the year. It's the PBA Tournament of Champions on Fox.
Welcome to AMF Riviera Lanes outside Akron, Ohio. It is bowling's equivalent of Augusta, Fenway Park, and Lambeau Field. We are here for the signature event on the PBA Tour, the Tournament of Champions. And history is going to speak fondly of today's field. 4 of the 5 already Hall of Fame eligible. The headliner, your defending champ and current player of the year, Jason Belmonte. We begin, though, with your 4 versus 5 matchup, Prather Rash. The winner to meet Belmo. Anthony Simonson, your 2 seed. Bill O'Neill just needs 1 win to earn a major. And just to spice up our first major of the season, a $1 million bonus, courtesy of the PBA and Fox Sports, is out there. Should we see a 300 game in our title match, something we experienced just 3 weeks ago. Thrills you're with us today. Rob Stone, the Hall of Famer. Randy Peterson here with
back.
you. Yeah, it's
we
good
missed
to be
you.
back. I missed you too, my friend. You walk into this venue, you say this is not a typical bowling center. And you say to yourself, this is not a typical Sunday. Why? The Tournament of Champions is different. Only champions are invited to compete in this tournament. You combine that, Randy, with the challenging conditions that are laid out in front of these bowlers. It's got a way of weeding out the weak and bringing the best to the top.
Absolutely. It's got everything you want in a major, you know, and you'd have to dig pretty deep to find a tougher field than we have today. Starting with Sean Rash in our opening match. Remember, he climbed the ladder and won just 2 weeks ago. He'll have to do the same today to capture a second TSC. Here's the reigning playoff champ, Chris Prather, looking for his first career major. How about this guy right here? Remember not too long ago when he was 19 and won the USBC Masters? He's the youngest player to have 2 majors. And then our tournament leader, Bill O'Neill, who's coming off of his best season ever, he's got a U.S. Open to his credit.
You're missing one, my friend. The headliner today, without a doubt, Jason Belmonte, as he goes for his unprecedented 4th TOC title in 6 years, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty incredible in majors. The all-time winningest player in major championship history. Remember, he made the cut to the top 24 match play by 1 pin. And then made his move the very first 8 games, got to within 30 of the show, held on to the 3rd spot, and so today he goes for more history. Remember, he's tied currently with Mike Durbin and Jason Couch with 3 TOCs apiece. He wins today, he stands alone on that mountain.
And your number 3 seed standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. So, Jason, you already hold the record for the most major wins ever. Why is it so important for you to continue raising that bar?
I think it's just that internal drive. You know, I've never been complacent in my career. I've never been happy to just do what I have done. I've always wanted to get better. I've always wanted to win more. So even though I have 11, 12 sounds better than 11. And hopefully today I can put together a few really good games, get some strikes for the bushfire relief as well, and come home with a trophy would be lovely.
Well, it's all about building a legacy. Good luck to you today.
Peace.
Rob, Randy.
And we will see Jason in a moment, but first, it's match number 1, 4 versus 5. Prather, Rash. Let's meet our 2 competitors.
The number 5 seed has 15 PBA Tour titles. From Montgomery, Illinois, Sean Rash.
And like I said earlier, a winner 2 weeks ago in Oklahoma when he climbed the ladder as the 5th seed. Today, he'll have to duplicate that feat to win his 2nd Tournament of Champions.
15 tour titles, 2 of them majors. Mom and dad in attendance, walked around the corner, bumped into them. A lot going on in the Rash household as well. He mentioned last week, he and his wife Sarah expecting their 3rd come July 5th is the due date. See that exhale, see the face. There's a lot behind that shot. Here's your number 4 seed.
The number 4 seed has 2 PBA Tour titles and the first ever PBA Playoffs championship. From Plainfield, Illinois, Chris Prather.
Well, his nickname is the Shark. And as the reigning PBA playoff champ, today he looks to take a bite out of the competition and win his first major.
2 tour titles. Both of them came last year. It was by far his best year on the tour. But he's the only player here without a major on his resume. Nothing but strikes so far. Ladies, we'll take a look at today's oil pattern.
Yeah, already the players are showing you there's 2 ways to play this tough 40-foot Don Johnson oil pattern. You can go straight like Sean Rash is doing, taking his hand out of it and kind of rolling up the back, or you can move in and throw it to the right. Anything that you decide to do on this brutal, toughest pattern of the year, you better be good at repeating shots. And also, this event, the most games bowled in one tournament, but this pattern extremely flat from side to side.
Pair of strikes to open for your 4 seed Prather.
Beautiful stroke here by Chris Prather. He's got one of the best physical games. In fact, a lot of folks feel that he may be the best player on tour that uses his thumb.
Rash on the right. Nothing but strikes.
A couple weeks ago, Sean Rash threw the last 20 out of 24 strikes to close with 279 and 289 to win. But remember, he did qualify in that number 5 position and worked his way all the way up the ladder.
Win today, and he would become the 10th to win multiple TOC titles. And a major test here in the 3rd.
I expect that. That's supposed to lay there.
Yeah, he got it inside, but about a half a board according to Strike Track, and you heard Sean say that was supposed to lay there, meaning it was supposed to hold its line. And Sean may have gotten a little bit too much of that one at the bottom of the swing.
Only 1% of the time is that one cleaned up, and you see why. So an open frame in the 3rd.
It's only been made once on television. That's by the great Walter A. Williams Jr.
Who is here?
He is here
today.
Bowled the event.
Speaking of the event, small field size by design, Randy.
Yep.
Only champions invited to compete in the Tournament of Champions. Top 5 here today in our step ladder. Prather with an early opening here. Let's see what he can do with it in the bottom of the 3rd.
Going with the idol, or as I like to call it, the Rob Stone. Because you're my idol.
Let's just call it the Ryan Seacrest. Great start for Prather here, your 4 seed, 3 strikes.
Right in between the 3rd and 4th arrows, Clutch Bowling shows that line on the lane. Such great pictures that we have now with all the new data with Clutch and Specto that gives us the strike track, courtesy from our great friends at Kegel. Can increase the lead now to 38 with a strike here in the fourth. Well, that ball went just a pinch high, Rob, right before it got to the head pin, but the shape of the motion of the bowling ball is such that the ball actually stopped hooking. It kind of rolled out, and that's why he didn't leave the big four like Sean Rash. So just a 4-pin. He'll take that. 9 spare works.
Oh, didn't like it. Got away with it. Sold out crowd here. Always nice to be back at AMF Riviera Lanes here in Fairlawn. This community does such a great job supporting this event, supporting these pros.
Mm-hmm. It's sure is good to be back. So much history here. Uh-oh. And now he's looking at back-to-back opens with a 2-8-10.
2 shots I didn't see coming at all.
0.6% of the time this is converted.
Yeah.
0.6.
Confirm.
Can't even give him a full number on this. Back-to-back challenging frames and back-to-back open frames for Sean Rash. And this one is slipping away quickly.
Well, you know, it's tough when you go high on one lane, you come back to the other lane and you go light, and that sometimes is an overcompensation on the player's part. But, you know, if Sean truly believes that those last 2 shots were good, it'd be tough to figure out what to do next. Move left on this lane and move right on the right lane.
Did it again.
Yeah,
Did it again.
Wrong ball.
That ball looked like it hooked right next to his big toe. That was definitely left at the arrows from the last time he struck, so that was a miss left.
Strike, spare, rather strike, open, now a spare here in the 5th.
Gave him a big lead early. That wasn't smart.
No, it wasn't. It's clearly not in his game plan. Now you get a young kid like Prather, 28, no majors, 2 tour titles, both of them came last year. You got him in this comfort zone. Now, like, all right, I pretty much got this one. I can manage myself. Don't have to play out of my skin. Now he's got some trouble.
A little too far to the right on that shot, and he pays for it with a 2-4-10. And I talked about it when we put the oil pattern graphic up, how hard this 40-foot Don Johnson oil pattern is. And, you know, they made it look pretty nice with the first 4 shots that were thrown, all strikes. And now you're really getting a taste of what can happen when you're not careful on this pattern.
2-4-10, 19% of the time it is picked up. Saw something he didn't like. I might have heard a cell phone go off.
It's an alarm on somebody's cell phone. He's going to try to get that ball over here and cut that 2-pin into the 10.
Open frame. So we have seen 3 open frames here already in our opening match at the Tournament of Champions. The first of 4 straight majors here on the PBA Tour.
February?
Forget March Madness. Yeah,
Right.
It is big February.
Well, the lead now is only 24. However, hard to make up if you can't strike. So a couple of big frames in the 6th and 7th coming up for Sean Rash. We'll see how Prather rebounds.
Now, another issue here for Prather, and Rash might be right back into this one.
It's a good shot. We talked to him yesterday, and he said, you know, learning how to use urethane, and I used it quite a bit this week, and then when it didn't look good, I changed to reactive resin. I asked him, I said, how big a move did you make when you went from urethane to reactive resin on this pattern? He said, oh, about 40 boards.
Wow. 40.
Yeah, keep in mind there's only 39 on the lane.
Enough said, right? My goodness. Well, we knew the conditions would be challenging. They have not disappointed. So we're going to wrap up match number 1 next. Plus, a legend leaves the TOC. Randy, get out the Kleenex. 32nd time the AMF Riviera Lanes hosting the TOC. Always one of our favorite places to be back to. Sean Rash trying to get back into this one, down 24 as he closes out the 6th frame. He started with a pair of strikes, then went open frame, 8 spare. Here he is on the right in the 6th. Are you kidding me? I mean, that close, Randall, to a 7-10.
Yeah, he had a little messenger come over, take the 10 out, but that was a ball change for Sean, and obviously he talked with his tour rep, Steve Jacobs, and they decided that it was time to make a change and get out of that ball.
You agree?
That he started with. Well, I mean, that was a little bit better than what I saw the first, after the first double that he threw. Remember, he went big 4, and then he followed it up with a 2-8-10 split, so back-to-back splits, but at least that one hit the pocket. So I think this shot here will be very telling as to whether or not he's in the right ball now.
All right, do it again.
He needs to get back on the strike train ASAP if he's to have any chance of moving on to meet your 3 seed, Jason Belmonte, who's waiting in the wings.
Close.
Frustrating.
It's been nothing but a struggle since that 3rd frame.
Yeah. The good news is, if there is any, is that the last 2 shots have hit the pocket.
Shot for break.
So 3 straight spares.
Need help.
Winner to take on Jason Belmonte in our 2nd match. Chris Prather getting closer and closer to closing this one out. He's got a 26-pin lead here as we close out the 7th. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Stayed on the lane.
Barely stayed on the lane.
Yeah, he caught the OB that time. It's like hitting a sheet of ice going right, and he's right. Yeah, at least it stayed on the lane.
That is a fortunate break for him.
He's gone light twice now, back-to-back on that right lane.
And another open frame. His 2nd.
Yeah, it's getting interesting now, isn't it?
Sure is. 12-pin match. Rash working off a spare. Prather, an open frame. And a re-rack. Let's take a look at some of the other finishers this week at the TOC. Kyle Troop, last week's winner, coming in at 6th. EJ. Big Stu.
Beef stew. Dom. Mitch Hoope. There's your buddy in 12th.
Tom Doherty.
Yeah.
Tom's like, hey, Rob, you ducking me? I said, I'm not ducking you. Just show up on a TV show, and I'll be there for you, kid.
Tommy Jones, who bowled 300 in our opening event of the season. AJ Johnson from last week. Christian Azcona, he bowled a 300 game. We have 3 players that bowled 300 this week.
You know who else had a 300?
Tell me.
Jason Belmonte.
Yeah. Trying to go about 18-5. That's inside, but holds its line nicely.
First strike since the 3rd frame. 4th overall for Prather.
Prather leads by 12 runs. Rash bowling 8.
We've been saying for the last couple of frames, Rash needs a strike. Rash needs a strike. He's been getting nothing but spares since the 5th. Messenger misses the 10.
Really good ball change, Sean.
Well, now he's got a ball that he feels pretty comfortable and confident about getting to the pocket, and it won't strike. Pin got deflected and knocked it in front of the 10. Last three shots all in the pocket, no strikes.
I made that one.
He's in trouble. His max score now, if he strikes out, is 198. Prather can still shoot 221.
Averages to make the cut and the final 5 down from last year. So we knew things were tougher this year. We knew things would be extra intense tonight. And you know what? We've been spoiled. Let's admit it. We've been spoiled through the first 3 weeks of televised bowling on the PBA Tour. The numbers have been outrageous.
The first 3 weeks, the winning score average was 293.
Right. A 300, a 289, and a 290.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? We still may see that later tonight.
And the losing scores were 230, 230, 269. Sorry, Chris Barnes, but I had to throw your 269 in there.
Are you? Yeah! Do your job, Messenger. Mom and Pa Rash taking this one in. Diana and Jean. Such warm people.
Yeah.
Love running into this tournament.
Very nice people.
Rash.
Well, he still has a chance, and thanks for the little messenger coming across and clipping the 10.
Last time we saw Prather, it was a strike on that left lane in the 8th, but prior to that,
back-to-back opens on the right.
It sure was. Whoa.
Well, I'll tell you what, he really liked that shot off of his hand, even though the red line shows a little bit inside a target, but he pays for it, not just the 4-pin, but the 9 with it.
19.6% of the time, the 4-9 is picked up. This is not easy, Randy.
It's going to cut the 4-pin right over here into the 9.
Control.
You heard him right before. You can only control so much. There's a big talking point with him today. Hey, don't let things that other guys do take you out of your game. Control what you can. But an open frame here, the lead is at 1 pin entering the 10th, but it's Rash off a strike, Prather off an open frame.
Right, and so max score for Prather now is 189. So no matter what Chris does, he can't shut out Sean Rash.
Listen, if you spoke to Sean Rash, 5th, 6th, 7th frame, he's telling you, I'm done. I'm just out here for showboating purposes, hanging out with mom and dad. He is in prime position to move on, to take on his frenemy, Jason Belmonte. Messenger! Oh, we needed that!
If Chris Prather spares after that messenger there, Sean Rash would have to strike first ball in the 10th to advance.
The greatest day in racing returns, Randy, next week. The Daytona 500 kicks off the 2020 NASCAR season. 2:30 Eastern, pre-race beginning at 1. It is only right here on Fox next Sunday, 2:30 Eastern.
You like NASCAR? How about Indy racing? You like bowling tournaments that come down to the 10th frame?
That I'll take.
That'll play. 2 strikes in the 10th frame. If Prather gets good count on his fill shot, his last shot. Look at that. Gets the messenger, trips the 7-10 late.
These scores are not sexy in match number 1, but this has been a compelling matchup.
Oh, yes.
Back and forth. This has been like a telenovela.
Interesting. Changes balls.
Did not pay off. Gets 8. Good count. So he's in the books with a 187.
Sean Rash, strike 9 spare. We have a tie. Two strikes to win. His last 4 shots have all been in the pocket. He went 7-pin, 4-pin, 10-pin, and then a little messenger there in the 9th frame.
Has to have this strike or he's done.
Hi, Randy.
Sure, he blames me and it was you.
Randy's loud.
Regroup. Slow down. Smooth process.
Randy, don't say anything, okay? Must have it. Way off target. Prather advances to match 2.
Well, it looked like he threw it hard and got it to the right.
Focus, Sean.
Bad shot. He knows it. Chris Prather's moving on.
So Prather with a 187, able to move on. The step ladder has been updated. Your 4 seed has progressed. Up next, reigning player of the year, reigning TOC champ, Jason Belmonte, Anthony Simonson, Bill O'Neill, waiting to see who they will face here at the TOC. When we return, we're going to celebrate the 10th anniversary of an iconic moment in bowling and in women's sports history. We welcome you back to Fox Sports Live coverage of the 2020 PBA Tournament of Champions. The on-lane graphics you're seeing right there, including our on-lane ball tracer, brought to you courtesy of our great friends at Clutch Bowling. 1 match down. Here's your next one, 3 versus 4. Reigning champ Jason Belmonte set to take on Chris Prather. Prather 187, 164 winner over Sean Rash.
The number 3 seed has 22 PBA Tour titles. From Orange, New South Wales, Australia, your defending champion, Jason Belmonte.
We won this tournament in 2014, did it again the next year. Took a brief break, Randy. Won it last year's again, looking for back-to-back TOCs.
And looking to become the only player with 4 Tournament of Champions to his career.
This is last year here.
Yeah, remember he had to make that 10-pin to win it.
And that gave him his 10th major. He would go on to win 1 more. Nobody in this sport has won more majors than that gentleman sitting down. 46-year-old Jason Belmonte. But he's going to watch Chris Prather up first on the left lane. Prather, 3 open frames, 6 total strikes in his grind-out victory over Sean Rash. Oh, yeah! Delayed reaction.
You can see right there that he's been moving left, more towards the center part of the lane and creating more angle, which is what they do out on the tour these days when the old pattern gets flat. But this is a huge break. But I've got a stat for you after Jason throws his first shot.
I'm excited.
trying to be the first to win 4 TOCs. Jason Belmonte. No messenger on this one.
Go late around the corner. So, did you know that Chris Prather has never lost to that man on television?
Crazy, right? I guess that does surprise me, but it doesn't when you consider Chris Prather and his winning percentage on television. Belmo picks that one up. So with the win in the last match, Chris Prather is now 14-5 on television, a 73.7% win percentage.
Is that? I think that's second all time behind Jim Pensek. I do believe.
It's definitely second all time.
And now there's a minimum amount of shows required.
I got a did you know for this guy, Jason Belmonte.
Okay, let's hear it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
This week was his 50th major that he bowled in. He has finished in the top 5, half of them.
Incredible.
Oh, that's a joke. Look at that hang a wicked left fast.
No, you can see just how deep Jason is. I mean, he's almost in the 6th arrow, but just nowhere near far enough to the right. There's nowhere near enough oil to hold that ball on line. He's got to project it farther to the right. But how many times have you seen the world's #1 miss the head pin left? And this is no easy conversion attempt that he's staring at. Another bounce and chop it. Yep.
Spare open frame for the world's best.
And again, Chris Prather's opponent giving him an opening early.
Trying to add to that 15-pin lead early.
Back-to-back jabs for the Shark.
Back-to-back trip fours for the Shark.
Well, Chris Prather told me yesterday that he was close to both his grandparents, but unfortunately lost one in December and the other, Petty Officer Ragnar Evanarius, in January. Now, Ragnar, who served 22 years in the U.S. Navy, actually funded Chris's 2 first years of the tour and dreamed of traveling the world with him. But since he wasn't able to live out that dream, Chris is honoring him today by carrying a shell casing in his pocket while he bowls today that he received from his grandfather's 21-gun salute.
3 in a row for Prather.
When was the last time you've seen 3 trip fours in a row?
That would be never, Randy. I'll go with
I can
never.
tell you that I don't think I've ever done it in my career.
He might have the 2 grandpas backing him up on that 4-pin.
Rocky was probably pulling the string on this one.
By the way, I think every grandparent should be named Rocky.
That's a great,
By the way, right?
Both his grandparents went by
Rocky.
Yeah, his grandpas.
Belmo, 7-10. Nope, just a 7.
That ball's going way too long down the lane before it starts to make its move back to the head pin.
Get the sense that Belmo kind of knew this was coming. I spoke with him today, and he said, these big, long tournaments are great for me, but I have a tendency to start slow, try to figure things out, and then I can manipulate the ball, manipulate the lanes. I can play to my strength, but when it's a one-game win or lose, he was really worried about how he would be able to get off to a strong start. And he said, I'm going to have to go to my 7th idea. I'm going to drill a different ball. I'm going to play a different part of the lane in the hopes that I can salvage a strong start, or at least give him enough range to get it to where he figures things out. Well, he's struggling right now.
He said throughout the tournament that the early games were brutal for him.
Right.
And then once the old pattern broke down and settled in, he would find something.
But he doesn't have that much time to settle in and find something in this type of format. Still looking for his first strike. Top of the 4th. Fell Belmo. Bang!
Well, even though the lead is 35 for Prather, we saw in the last match what can happen, right? And how quick things can turn around. It's so easy to throw an opening to your opponent on this tough 40-foot Don Johnson oil pattern.
And strong starts have really been the hallmark of Chris Prather today, at least. Remember, he started with the opening 3 in match number 1. Same case here in match number 2. Looking to start this one off with a ham bone.
God, I've waited how long to hear that?
Oh, we get the graphics to back it up, too. So Prather has the first 4 here. Should he or anybody else on today's show roll a perfect game, everyone in America, Randy, can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. To pre-register for your free game, simply head to GoBowling.com and sign up for the Go Bowling Free America promotion.
You know what happens if somebody waits till the title match to shoot that 300 game? Not only will everybody get the free game of bowling, but the guy who bowls it gets $1 million.
It will not be perfection here in match number 2. Prather, they're pretty darn close so far.
Good job.
How about a 44-pin lead? We're not even done through 5 frames against the world's best.
And talking with Chris the other day, he asked him, what's been the difference and what has gotten you back here? And he says, working on touch. And if you look at all 5 players on the telecast today, they all have great touch.
Again, Prather coming off his best year as a pro. I said coming into the season, I had a lot of people talking to me about their expectations for me. And it's been a struggle for him not to have those higher expectations of himself. So he struggled. That first month, it took him a while to kind of find where he is, find his focus, find where he's comfortable on the lanes. And he said, that's why I've been feeling much stronger, particularly this week here in Akron. Focus on what I can control. And right now, he's got control of this match with number 3, Jason Belmonte. Belmo still not able to get a pair of strikes here.
It looks like he needs a stronger ball on the right lane, and that ball that he just threw there on the left lane, this ball doesn't pick up early enough. You see how much farther it pushes down the lane before it starts to hook.
To a 10.6% of the time it's picked up.
Big trouble now. Prather's got a good look. His ball reaction's predictable. Belmonte's is not.
Down 56. I mean, when's the last time we said this about Jason Belmonte? Down 56 pins.
Yeah, I mean,
halfway through.
At least last week, you know, it was the pocket 710 that was kind of his undoing. He's got no idea what to do.
He's got a strike, but it was Brooklyn. Yeah, he needs something to smile about. Well, the conclusion of match number 2 of this season's first major. Chris Prather in control, but when we return, we're going to go in the pocket with Belmo when we return. We welcome you back to Fox Sports presentation of the 2020 PBA Tournament of Champions. Jason Belmonte down 56 pins to Chris Prather. Here's our In the Pocket feature, which gives you a chance to get a closer look at the PBA pros. This week's subject, that man and his mentality.
I think every time I lace my shoes up, I'm the greatest player on the lanes for that day.
He's the greatest!
It's a mentality, it's a mindset. If you think there are others better than you, and that may be the case, if you don't believe that you're going to beat them, then you might as well take your shoes off, because they will beat you.
Belmo has been a handful in majors 4 times. He's won the Masters, trying to win this event for the 4th time. 2 PBA Players Championships, 2 World Championships as well. The one thing he's missed, Randy, the U.S. Open, which you can see live on Fox February 23rd from Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, we're going to Cornhusker country in a couple weeks, buddy.
That place will be rocking.
Oh, man, cannot wait. Also, I've got my eye on a big T-bone the night before.
I want to go. Can I go with you?
I think my reservation is full. I'll see you at Applebee's. Prather up a gaudy 56.
I did it again.
Didn't like it, almost went off. Second time here, he
These
almost
commercial
threw a
breaks
gutter
are
ball.
Fantastic.
And yet,
Averaging 6.5.
he is in firm
I got
control.
7 last time.
Yeah, I mean, again, another one that's wide right. And as soon as it left his hand, he was like, oh, please stay on the lane. 1, 2, 4.
And the similarities between this match and the last match.
It's crazy.
Eerie.
Except for the fact that Belmonte is trailing by a lot more.
Right, than Sean Rash. Cleans that one up. So Prather, even with strikes and spares, the lead is at 53.
Take a look at this early pin action, Rob.
Trip 4.
Yeah, trip 4 there in the first, trip 4 in the second, and trip 4 in the third.
You get that many trip 4s, what does that tell you, though, about your game?
That tells you have to move, you have to make an adjustment, because that shot's actually a high shot. It's high in the pocket, but it's a great break for a right-hander when you do triple 4.
Number 5.
That's all he liked that one.
Now or never for Belmo.
Again, I spoke about how our players on today's telecast have such a great touch, great feel, and you can see it in that game right there. Just beautiful what he can do at the bottom of the swing with his release.
Right of target.
He's expecting that ball to come off of that spot down lane, that spot right there. He's expecting it to hook from there, and there's no way that's going to happen.
I almost feel like we're watching an impossible.
I mean, right now he's got to be feeling like he's slowly being poisoned.
Sean Rash can certainly empathize. He had his struggles as well.
Sean had a chance to win.
100%.
I mean, he needs a double into 10th, and he's pulling this guy. And then probably...
But his struggles were real as well.
Yeah, but both players in match number 1 had their struggles, right?
Not so much Prather here.
Right.
It's been clean. I think we saw a ball change here for Belmo. And why not?
Yep.
Jason.
He is gone. He is lost.
Almost over, guys.
He's out of sorts, that's for sure.
This is strange. This is unaccustomed territory for the fans, for the viewers, for Jason, for you, me.
Well, I think it says a lot about how even the greatest in the world has days like this where no matter what he does, it doesn't work. Now, I had those days more frequent than Jason, but it happens to the best, right?
1, 2, 4, 8, cleaned up. Make sure to join us next Saturday, 5:30 Eastern over on FS1. It's the PBA Players Championship, live from Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl, beautiful Columbus, Ohio. 5:30 Eastern. That's the first of 4 straight majors on Fox Sports.
He's going to bowl Simonson in our next match. But, you know, you and I have called a lot of action over the years. When was the last time you remembered Belmonte being down 77?
Never. I've never experienced this.
This may be his biggest beat ever since we've been covering Jason Belmonte from Australia. I can't remember the last time he was this far behind.
It's a brutal beatdown that
Yeah.
Prather's laying on Belmo. And both parties are responsible for it.
Yep.
It's self-inflicted damage. And a strike there by Prather, and as Papa Stone likes to say, it's all over but the shouting. This one is done. Prather, your 4 seed, continues to fly up our TOC stepladder. Sean Rash, done. Jason Belmonte, done. Anthony Simonson next. Bill O'Neill, your 1 seed, waiting for the winner. So it is semifinal time here at the TOC. We're going to tell you about the history that 23-year-old Anthony Simonson is chasing when we return. So Simonson going with urethane, how does that impact Prather's thought process, if at all?
He's going to look for transition that's created by the urethane equipment. And what urethane does is it drags oil towards the pins. And he's probably going to be playing the same break point as Chris Prather. So once that oil starts to push, if Chris gets it to that spot, it's going to wiggle and it's going to go light.
So we are ready for match number 3. Your 4 seed, Chris Prather, set to take on your number 2 seed, Anthony Simonson, who's chasing a bit of history today.
The number 2 seed has 7 PBA Tour titles. From Little Elm, Texas, Anthony Simonson.
Well, at age 23, Simonson is already Hall of Fame eligible. He won his first major at 19 and the youngest ever to do so. Today, he looks for his 3rd major.
So he's the youngest to ever win 1 major.
Yeah.
The youngest to ever win 2 majors.
Yes.
And now on the cusp of being the youngest to win 3 majors.
That is correct.
Such an unassuming, quiet guy. I saw him in the paddock maybe an hour and a half ago. Literally looked like he just woke up from a nap.
Yeah.
Hair is sticking up. Eyes are sleepy. He just doesn't get fazed by much. Two-handed style.
Yeah. He just ran into the ball return with his knee. Yeah, he's definitely a unique young man, and it's just, you're right, it seems like nothing bothers him, you know? It's like, just kind of runs off his back, and it's over. It's just kind of a cool, calm kid. All right, let's check out the bar return and see if it's okay. Wait for it, and okay.
Just a little hip check.
Yeah.
Like something Munson did.
As in Roy Munson?
Mm-hmm.
Love the Kingpin reference.
I was watching it last night.
No, you weren't.
I was. You were spectacular.
Thank you.
Another strong start from Prather.
Well, it was a ball change for Prather. Now he's into 23. When he started playing this line in game 1, he was right around the 17th board at the arrows. So he's made a pretty significant move, and now he's changed bowling balls. Look how close he is to the foul line. Same ball in the left lane. And this time, no trip 4. So you think about game 1, right? It trips 3 4s in a row and then throws a strike behind it for a 4-bagger. If he doesn't trip those 4s, he's only got 1 strike. And now his game turns into 220 instead of 250 based on the way he finished. Not that that was going to do Belmo any good.
Right. But still, if he's seeing Lady Luck evaporate, he's in trouble.
And I'm not saying that's the last time he's going to trip a 4-pin. I'm just saying. You go strike on 1 lane, pocket hit. You trip the 4 on the next lane for a strike, and then you go back to the other lane and strike. Now you've got 3 in a row instead of...
And also, remember, twice he flirted.
Oh, yeah. Well, he got it OB a couple of times.
Right.
It's going to be real interesting to see how Anthony Simonson in this urethane ball, what kind of reaction and how that bowling ball is going to behave.
Use the 10 pin.
I want you to look to see just how low Anthony Simonson's head gets to the ground right here and how much upper body lean he's got. And then look at him come up on those toes, on his front toes when he hits the foul line.
Pretty good flexibility.
You know, you talk to Bill O'Neill. Bill O'Neill's working on exactly the opposite, having less spine tilt. Anthony Simonson is
How low can you go?
full tilt. There it is, his pitch black that he's using, and he's going really, really straight. Last shot hit the pocket, had little or no movement in the back part of the lane and left that ringing 10.
He's familiar with big paydays here on the tour. We'll have that interesting story here in a second.
There we go. Oh, he just blew up that rack. Destroyed it.
He is bringing the heat. Watch how straight this is. I mean, that's just like straight up 8, and the ball just kind of lays right there. And
Straighter's greater.
yeah, especially when they're hard. You know, the straighter you can go when they're hard, better it is.
Strike spare for Prather to start. Bottom of the third. Nice. Boy, did that look nice from the release.
Yeah.
Plus, Chris has been really beneficial to us throughout the night because he's telling us in advance how his shots are going.
Yeah.
Numerous times we've heard him tonight. Oh, no, watch out, heads up.
Yeah. And he's all the way against the ball return now, but watch the location at the arrows. That looked like about 24 board at the arrows. Again, using 2 different bowling balls, using a real strong ball on the right lane, which is what I talked about with Belmonte. I thought he was using a ball that was too weak on that lane.
Back-to-back jacks for Prather. This already matches his best finish at a major. Back in 2018, he finished 3rd at the U.S. Open. He will finish no worse than 3rd here at the TOC.
It's a handful. Stroking. He's in full stroke right now. And then getting back to this bowling ball right here that Anthony Simonson is using. Remember, I talked about how that urethane cover stock will drag oil down the lane. That might end up helping Chris Prather more than it hurts him, because if it drags oil down the lane, it may create a little bit of mistake area or hold to the left.
Pitch black blows up the rack.
So we talked about big paydays for Anthony Simonson. Kimberly, they were delayed big paydays, though.
They were. So during pre-interviews, Anthony told me a story about when he won $100,000 back in September of 2019. Apparently, he held onto the check for so long, the CEO of PBA and Bolero, Coley Edison, had to ask him if he still had it or if he'd lost it. He replied, yes, I still have it, but I have not deposited it because it's the first time I've ever won that type of money, and I like to take it out of my pocket and look at it, and it reminds me it's a good day. Guys, it took him 2 months to finally deposit it.
2 months. He's got a challenger. 2 months.
Come on, man.
I'll tell you what, I get like a dividend check for $1.17
Yeah.
from an old Kmart stock. I'm like,
Yeah.
into the bank you go.
Yeah, I got a little refund from insurance, car insurance.
Yeah.
It went in.
Couldn't get there fast enough,
It went in
right?
off my phone app.
You know what? Just take the deposit slip, hold on to it, and look at it. You get the same satisfaction.
Right? Well, the nice part is he didn't have to deposit it.
So
right
many
away.
of those, it's not even funny.
The beauty of being young. Just 23 years old.
I mean, keep in mind, he did make $176,000 on the regular tour and then throw another 100 on top of that.
Right.
So a 23-year-old walking around with almost 300 grand. That's not bad.
That's some good walking around change.
That's some good walking around cash.
And I'll buy a few burritos and slices.
Oh, my God. How about a slice of pizza? It's on me.
Prather up 3. And he'll add to that.
Yeah.
Strike, spare, strike, strike, strike for Prather.
Yeah, he's making shots. And that hand. Again, that soft hand gets the ball through the front part of the lane, and the speed allows it time to come around the corner.
Were you a soft hand guy?
No, I grabbed every shot.
2020 Team USA member Chris Prather. Native of Plainfield, Illinois. 6th year on the tour. Looking for his first major, and he's getting all the breaks.
Hey, Rob, you know what that was?
4-bagger.
And a trip 4.
Thought you were going to say something else. All right, we're going to wrap up Simonson and Prather when Fox Sports coverage of the 2020 TOC returns. Semi-final match of the 2020 PBA TOC rolls on. Anthony Simonson up here, bottom to 6, down 23 pins to the 4 seed, Chris Prather. Spare, spare, strike, strike, spare for Simonson so far. Trying to become the youngest to win 3 majors.
Ah, I forgot. It's not Chris, it's Anthony.
Referring to the trip 4 that he did not get. 20 miles an hour. Oh, over 20 miles an hour. That's bringing the heat, and he has to just to keep that urethane ball on line. But it's not looking that great thus far.
Takes care of that, so at least he remains clean.
All right, so Prather is the blue ball on the left, and Simonson, red ball on the right. You can see just how different, not only the lines and location, but the speed as well.
What's the most dangerous spot on that lane with the way that Prather's attacking it?
That wide right shot where he gets it on the other side of the
Almost
cliff.
at the crossover point where
right, so he gets
goes
it
through Simonson's.
He gets it too far to the right or misses it off his hand going in that direction, and it's just going to keep skating.
Simon bringing the high heat.
Well, there's a lot at stake in this match because the winner guarantees himself $50,000. $100,000 for first, 50 for second. Winner of this match gets in the title match.
And remember that title match? $1 million on the line as well. If we have a perfect game, something we had just 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and remember when Tommy Jones did it, it didn't look like something that was even possible because remember the match before that, him and Barnes didn't bowl 200.
Bill O'Neill, your #1 seed. Waiting in the wings, see who's going to face for the TOC title.
Hey, we hit the head pin, though.
Hit the head pin out of the commercial break. That was a gorgeous shot, too, for that ring in 7, or excuse me, ring in 10. Wow.
He thought he had it.
Yeah. I got a little add-on to that story that Kimberly did on the shell casing that Chris's
grandfather,
that Chris has brought with him.
Randy, let's get to that in just 1 second. I want to remind you, week 2 of the XFL kicks off this Saturday here on Fox. My Tampa Bay Vipers look for their first win as they take on Seattle at 5 Eastern. And then next Sunday, FS1, St. Louis, Houston at 6 Eastern. Football season continues, so don't miss the XFL next weekend on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app.
So Grandpa Rocky, and that's his mom Susan's father who recently passed. Chris said this guy was like a Viking, like straight Icelandic. He says, I think I get a lot of my moxie from him. Not bad.
Not every time, apparently.
Needed a little more Viking moxie on that one.
He's had his share of trip fours today, not that time, but he's still moving along nicely in managing his game. 4-pin in the second, that ringing 10 in the 7th, another 4-pin here in the 8th.
Nails that one into the pit. 22-pin lead.
Well, it's going to get interesting now because Simonson's max score is 246. Max score for Prather
right now.
You got to be kidding me.
Like somebody threw a pin from the fan section.
Unbelievable. Watch this. Looked like is that the 2-pin or the 4-pin just got jammed and went right in front of it.
That's frustrating.
I think it was the 4-pin.
Anthony had the highest average this week, just over 220.
Yeah. He out-averaged the field by 2.5 pins a game.
He's going to be way below his average here today.
Well, just because they throw it with 2 hands doesn't mean they throw it the same way. These two couldn't be more different. Look at how much more upper body lean there is on Simonson than there is with Jason Belmonte, and then what they do with their hands at the bottom of the swing is completely different. And then notice how much different they were playing this oil pattern.
Jason really the first to introduce two-hand bowling to the mainstream sports fan. Well, that might actually make it more difficult. He's tired of the microphone that's on him.
Well, he's getting ready to take it off.
Yeah. Audio to the lanes. Anthony Simonson's day is just about done. Chris Prather on the verge of moving on to our title game open frame.
Yeah. And we're going to have a rematch of the PBA playoffs where Chris Prather took down Bill O'Neill for that title.
How much money was on the line for that title?
$100,000.
How much money's on the line in this one, Randy?
$100,000.
Thank you. Night.
Pretty solid. You go back-to-back 240, 250 on this oil pattern, and that's rolling your ball. I mean, and he's done a beautiful job of that this game. Last game, yeah, he got a couple breaks, but, you know, just the trip bores, it's not like he threw it all over the building, except when we came out of commercial.
Right. He's focused on what he could control.
Yeah.
He was given opportunities for the most part. He had that little spasm, if you will, in the first match, but been pretty clean. So Prather moves on to our title match. And the step ladder can be updated. A lot of Chris Prather headshots in it, my friend. 1 win, 2 wins, now 3 wins. Up next, your 1 seeds. Bill O'Neill. So our final is confirmed. Bill O'Neill finally hits the lanes. We've got some pressing questions about the TOC answered next.
It'll be either Bill O'Neill or Chris Prather raising that hardware. Rob Stone, the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler back here live with you inside AMF Riviera Lanes in Fairlawn, Ohio. Time for our title match, Prather and O'Neill.
The number 1 seed has 11 PBA Tour titles. From Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Bill O'Neill.
And Bill O'Neill coming off his best season as a professional last season. This future Hall of Famer is in the most enviable position to win his second major.
Almost 10 years ago, he won his first and only major. He's sitting down as your 1 seed again. If we have a 300 game here, Fox Sports and the PBA are writing either Prather or O'Neill a $1 million check. Do not follow Anthony Simonson's advice. Take that check and bank it ASAP.
Yeah. So you're saying there's still a chance for Prather?
100%.
Okay.
And again, he starts with a strike.
You know, he's got the blueprint. He's climbed the ladder. He's bowled every game on television today. He's followed the transition, and he knows exactly what the lanes are giving him. Bill O'Neill, he's coming in fresh.
Best TOC finish for O'Neill, 6th place. He's done it twice. He will eclipse that today. Oh, boy, are you killing me? Billy O.
Well, going about 20 boards straighter, if you will, through the front part of the lane and right through the nose, leaving the big 4.
1% of the time, it's taken care of. I'm gonna be half full guy.
Half full?
Get it out of the way in your first frame.
That's the best place to do it. 10th frame when you need a mark is the worst.
But this is amazing. Chris Prather starts strong every match today, and his opposition has almost immediately, I'm not saying the first frame, the second frame, but almost immediately in the first third quarter of the match, given him an opening.
Yeah.
Bounce back ball from Billy O.
A beautiful shot coming off of the open. The next shot on the right lane for Bill O'Neill is going to tell us a lot.
100%. Billy O, one of our favorites. Dad made the 7-hour drive.
Yeah.
Although when I say he made the drive, he sat in the car while his cousin drove.
He's got plenty of company with him.
Love Bill Sr.
Senior's awesome.
Prather does not get the 10-pin.
Prather is still moving and migrating left. He's now standing in front of the ball return on that right lane. There you go, just inside of 5th arrow. Nothing for these professionals. They're used to doing it. They're used to lofting it over the gutter cap.
95% of the time on the tour, the 10-pin is cleaned up.
Prather, one of the few that doesn't change to a spare ball like a plastic or urethane spare ball. He just flattens his wrist and hand and throws it nice and straight and hard at his spares. A lot like Norm Duke. Norm Duke doesn't use a spare ball either.
Back at the PBA playoffs, Prather knew what he was going to do with that potential $100,000 payday. Going to make a down payment on a new home. Asked him today, another $100,000 on the line. Got any plans for this one? Typical Prather. Pay off that truck, invest the rest.
Well, that one got back from Cleveland. You can see the red line and where he got that one back from. And that's touch, speed, and rotation. And that's the only reason this one got back from that spot where it shouldn't have. You can tell by his reaction he got away with one.
Bill O'Neill did not get away with one on the right lane in the first frame, and he's back there. Better, but not by much.
Well, it was almost an identical hit than his first shot, except this time he just leaves the 3-6. But that's the last shot that should go through the nose for him on that right lane. That's how big of an adjustment he's going to make.
Takes care of the 3-6, so open frame strike spare for O'Neill.
Check out what the players on today's telecast that use their thumbs, where their hands are at the bottom of the swing. Right behind the ball. Right behind the ball. A lot of amateurs think you got to rotate around the side to get it to curve, you know?
So O'Neill at home on that left lane. He's got some thinking to do on the right. Dad might give him some advice. Dad, with a lot of coaching with Bill as well.
That's pretty much his only coach.
Trusted source.
Yeah. Nobody knows Billy's game better than his dad, that's for sure.
First show of the season for Prather, and it could earn him his first major.
Big move. He modifies his approach to make up for the fact that he can't take full steps in his first two. So it's basically a modified three-step approach for Chris Prather on that right lane.
For Prather. The lead grows.
He's got command of his game.
It's really interesting. Prather saying, you know, worry about me. But what he's been able to do in every match is force his competitor to worry.
Yeah, I mean,
to say, I've got to do some things. I've got to change. I've got to step up.
When was the last time he trailed in any game? You have to go back to the Rash. There you go. Remember, I told you he was going to make the move. He wasn't going to go through the nose again. But if you go back, I think you have to go back as far as the first match of the day was Sean Rash. And, yeah, no. He didn't trail.
He's led all day.
He has.
A brief moment. No.
He has never trailed.
Yep. A wire-to-wire lead so far for Prather. Think about that. A wire-to-wire
crazy
lead.
He's never had to come back from behind.
Oh, how's that go high? Oh.
He liked it.
Wow.
Still a 4-7. At least the 610's not with it.
Sits down 24. Prather up to close out the sixth.
If Prather continues to execute, I don't see how he can lose.
Agreed.
There you see him in front of the barge, and watch the steps. Three-step approach. Screw it into the lane. Just beautiful. Wow.
Tightening that title screw, Randy.
There you go. This is how you play the deep inside line on the right lane when the ball returns in the way. Get that ball started first. Look at that follow through going to the left. Perfect. Impressive.
Prather now just 4 frames away from his first major. The only one in today's field without a major, and the only one not Hall of Fame eligible.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put a comma yet.
Yeah, he's certainly working his way up that ladder. Relentless.
Well, he knew how important that one was. 5 in a row as we take a look and thank Rich Granis, the GM here at AMF Riviera Lanes. Does such a good job with the hires here. The personnel he has behind the scenes have just been fantastic today and all week. And you can see the reaction from Prather. Pretty mild-mannered Clark Kent type cat. But he's got that big S on his chest right now. Billy O'Neill in a world of hurt, down 44. Needed it and got it in the 7th.
Prism Hybrid is his ball of choice as you see his arsenal there. But right now, Bill O'Neill, his mind is thinking of one thing and one thing only, and that's striking out to have any chance.
It's a tournament, he said, I always wanted to win. What it means, the prestige of being a TOC champion. Down 44. Needs to start stringing them together. 2 in a row for Billy O.
You know, the other thing we talk about is the record for our #1 seeds in stepladder finals. And coming into tournament number 4 of the season,
it's 1 and 2.
If you go back, the winning percentage for the #1 seed is under 50%.
Yeah, last year 8 and 14 was the #1 seed. The year before 9 and 8, and then 7 and 9. Far from a guarantee. Time to celebrate, my friend.
It's going to take a re-rack after this one, but I'll tell you what. Pretty impressive performance. I go back a couple weeks ago to Sean Rash and what he did as he climbed the ladder and shooting 279, 289 back-to-back games for Sean Rash, and how impressive he looked and how well he managed his game. Scores are a little on the lower side of that today, only because of the tougher pattern, the major championship pressure. Chris Prather has done a pretty nice job of managing himself today.
Somebody's about to have some spare change. Another big payday just minutes away for Prather.
The Pennsylvania Lottery.
Welcome to the Pennsylvania Lottery, live this evening, Sunday, February 9th, 2020. Thanks to tonight's witness, Joyce Lovett. The wild ball number is 7, and now pick 2. 3, 5, select tonight's pick 3. 0, 8, 6. Now select the pick 4. 6, 4, 8, 6. Pennsylvania Lottery drawings are independently audited by Zelenkowski Axelrod. And next, pick 5. 7, 2, 6, 5, 3. And now cash 5. The numbers are 39, 4, 10, 37, 7, and now match 6. The numbers are 7, 32, 31, 29, 36, 38. Thanks for playing the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Fast-tracking things right now. O'Neal steps up, finishes, waves. Prather, the smile is about to erupt. Another strike. They're announcing over his shots. It doesn't matter. Chris Prather, you waited for this one, kid. That trophy is yours in just seconds. Asked him today, what would that first major mean? Hey, it's the culmination of the last 2 years of success. It's confirmation that I'm continuing to get better, getting better. I'm climbing up that hill. I'm becoming one of the best in this sport. And Chris Prather is your TOC champion.
One more for 280. Boy, did he make a mockery of this oil pattern when 4 of the greatest on the planet could manage no more than 2 200 games. He shoots 280 the last.
He saved his best for last. You can now call Chris Prather a major champion.
Carmen Salvino with the trophy presentation, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything you started.
Chris, you took down 4 Titans to take your first major win. I know for sure that you have visualized this at some point in your life. How does it measure up that you actually did it?
It's going to be the third greatest moment of my life, behind getting married and having my first kid. It's truly a dream come true. I'm just sad that my wife wasn't here to experience it with me, but I know she's supporting me at home, and she's probably crying her eyes out right now.
And I know for sure, Ragnar, your grandfather is smiling down at you right now. Congratulations on winning your first ever major title.
Prather now 17-5 on television. He's won over 77% of the time under the big lights. Tour title number 3, major number 1 for Prather. We'll see you next week just south of us in Columbus, Ohio for another major, the PBA Players Championship, coming your way live from Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. He led wire to wire at the first major of the season. Chris Prather finally can put major winner on his resume, commanding victories over 4 tremendous competitors, but in the end, it's Prather standing alone atop the PBA mountain. Chris Prather wins the TOC.